Hey guys, and welcome to Performance Cars. So today I have a Civic Type R FN2. This was first produced in 2007 all the way through to 2010. It's also finished in a lovely bronze. So let's go take a look around. So the Civic Type R FN2. We'll start off with the lovely Type R badge, fully functional front grille, HIDs are standard, just in there, front tow hook, the bonnet has been raised, you can see that gap, the 18-inch standard alloy wheels has been ditched and replaced with these Team Dynamics 17 inches running 215/45/17s. M-Tech disc and pads all round. You can just see my reflection there, that's how clean this car is. Side skirts, they are standard. Moving on to the rear, we have a Mugen style rear spoiler. This is adjustable, currently left at the maximum attack, so you can just see the angle that is at. The owner has this eBay built potato, so potato is what he calls this car, and he wanted me to mention that to you guys. And down to the rear we also have a rear tow hook just sitting there. It does get in the way sometimes when I'm walking around the car, so it did catch my leg, but having that rear spoiler really does make it stand out. So usually this has a twin exit exhaust, but this side has been removed and the owner has gone for a single exit. So I'm not too sure if you can see it there, but if I show you underneath, it's just a single pipe. But yes, it really does look nice in this bronze. I tried to capture the colour for you guys. So we'll move on to the inside. We have a lovely red finish to the door cards. Being a GT model, you have the folding mirrors. And we'll just show the pedals first. Aluminium finish. Accelerator pedal is not like the brake and clutch, so it pivots down here rather than up there. Lovely Type R seats with Takata harnesses. These seats really look chunky. I'm not too sure if you can see it on the side, but definitely looks like it will hold you in nicely, especially down the side too. So here we have the steering wheel. This is completely different to the EP3. So you have your cruise control buttons, information, and your radio controls. And without turning the ignition on, the dials are smoked out. But if you just turn it to accessory on, it all comes to life. The engine check light is on because he has a decat at the moment, but that's not an issue. Just down to the center console. It's a Type R badge just there. And we have plenty of storage, so you have like twin cup holders and armrests. Moving on to the engine bay, this has rain sensing windscreen wipers. That's a nice touch. This is running a K20Z4, very similar to the K20A2 from the EP3, but this has one extra brake horsepower, so it pushes out 198 brake horsepower and 142 foot-pounds of torque. Some spoon socks on the brake and clutch reservoir, but this is standard apart from the decat and the back box, which gives it a nice tone to it. So we just pop open the rear trunk and you have quite a lot of space in here. A spare 12-volt socket and no spare wheel underneath on this car, so just extra storage. And you have your tire inflator and a warning triangle and your scissor jacks. So we just go on for a test ride. Alright guys, so we're inside the FN2 now. And the first thing I can tell you is this car is responsive. I believe after the EP3 with the K20A2, with this K20Z4, I believe Honda put in 90% of all the torque from about 2000 to 3000 RPM. So it definitely revs a lot quicker. And that being said, that exhaust definitely makes a difference. And there's an indicator on the left as well that builds up as your revs go up as well. So that's quite nice, although I can't spend most of the time looking at it because it is quite low down. Talking about that, the steering wheel, you have to adjust it with your seating position, because if you have it too high, it will block the speed that you're going at, and if it's too low, then it blocks the rev meter. So you do kind of have to set that before you set off. Steering in this car, okay, they've changed it from the double wishbone suspension from the EP3 and they've gone for a torsion beam. A lot of people say because of that this isn't a real Type R, but it still handles pretty well. I don't see a problem with this on the roads at all. The interior is very futuristic in this car. A big change from the EP3, and having these seats as well. Remember I said how chunky they looked? Well, it most certainly feels that way too. It really holds me in well. There's quite a bit of space in this car, especially for the rear passengers. They have a bit of storage underneath their seats, and they also fold down flat as well. Makes it quite practical. So the gearbox is more or less very similar to the one in the EP3, except for the final drive is slightly shorter. And it might help in the acceleration. We do have that extra 1 brake horsepower as well, pushing it to 198. But on paper, it's showing that it's slower than the EP3. That's because of the weight of this car. It's much heavier. So we're on the standard suspension at the moment. No upgrades or changes have been made, and it's taking the roads quite nicely. Usually when we're in, for example, the DC2, that's bouncing all over the place. This one's actually absorbing the bumps, and it's actually quite comfortable as well. The brakes, okay, the discs are only dimpled and slotted, but they're not too bad with the M-Tech pads. They still work quite nicely if I just step on it. Yep, it definitely stops. Just try it on this corner. Keep on toe into third. This car does not have the LSD like the later models from 2010, and I think if it does have one, it would handle so much better. So these FN2 Type Rs are used in many race championships as well, and that just shows how well built this car is. So this car, although it is slightly slower than the predecessor, the EP3, this is still a really good car. Being a GT model as well, we have those individual climate control, aircon, we have rain sensing wipers, the refrigerated glove box. It just makes this car really nice to drive about on a daily basis. We also get cruise control as well, so on long journeys you don't have to keep your foot on the pedal. And the armrests, they are nicely spaced, so you can rest your arms quite easily. Although I would recommend putting in an LSD into the gearbox as one of its first performance upgrades. That would make the car handle really well. And then most probably your usual tyres and then brakes. So the Civic Type R FN2 weighs in at 1,320. We have this one in at 1,260. So I want to say a big thank you to Tom for letting me drive his car Potato today. It's a shame that many people don't class this as a real Type R. To me, it most certainly still is. It's just not as raw as the predecessors. But with his 2-litre K20 iVTEC engine pushing around just under 200 brake horsepower, this car is still good, and I believe it deserves to be called a Type R. So don't forget to comment, like and subscribe. Stay safe, drive safely, and I'll see you guys soon.